What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, well-renowned trainer, Hall of Fame trainer, turned colorful analyst, and now host a podcast, none other than legendary Teddy Atlas. He weighs in on two-division undefeated world champion Mexican superstar boxer who currently is the WBC junior lightweight reigning champion, that being Oscar Valdez. 29 wins, no losses, no draws, 24 big wins by way of knockout. Oscar Valdez is 30 years of age. He will be heading into a title defense after the biggest win in his career, defeating then long-reigning junior lightweight WBC world champion Mexican superstar boxer Miguel Bichel, in which he defeated Miguel Bichel in dramatic fashion, knocking out Miguel Bichel brutally. Okay, with that said, Oscar Valdez will be defending his title for the first time against ROBSON tomorrow night. But that's not going without controversy. The controversy is that Oscar Valdez has now tested positive for a banned substance, A sample and B sample, on VADA, USAID, on all of their lists, but WADA. It's called phetamine, okay? It helps you lose weight, it gives you stamina, and it's on the banned list. So he failed A sample and B sample. So, with that said, he's with Trainer of the Year, well-renowned trainer, EDDY Reynoso. And the interesting part is Eddie Reynoso has now have 3 or more fighters, 3 on the record, that have failed tests. That being Oscar Valdez, we know 4-division world champion, Mexican superstar boxer who currently is this super middleweight unified world champion, Canelo Alvarez. And he had another fighter, Rodriguez, who failed a test in 2019. Interesting, they all are with World Boxing Council, WBC, President Mauricio Sulaiman's sanction body. And they have all had Mauricio Sulaiman turn a blind eye to what's going on. In fact, he chose to back them. And so, Teddy Atlas, he's not happy about this. And he goes in on Canelo Alvarez, Oscar Valdez, WBC, and the sport of boxing, as well as Eddie Reynoso. And he states that everybody should get behind undefeated IBF super middleweight world champion superstar boxer Caleb Sweethand Plant. Because Caleb Plant is one of the few fighters that's willing to speak out and is willing to put it all on the line, because he says Caleb Plant will be blackballed. So he says that he has to applaud Caleb Plant for actually speaking up. And now everybody's going to say, well, Caleb Plant is trying to maneuver his way out of a fight, an undisputed mega showdown with Canelo Alvarez that's scheduled for November 6th. So Teddy Atlas, he absolutely goes in on Caleb Plant, standing up. He's happy for that, applauded it, and he says that Canelo Alvarez and the WBC, anybody that has ties with Canelo Alvarez and his team, are going to get a pass because they bring the money to the WBC. And he says the WBC stands for We Be Collected, collecting money. He says the WBC is collecting everything but samples, except urine and blood samples, as they should be. He says, why do you have something on the banned list if you're not going to oblige it, right? If you're not going to uphold your rules, then why do you even use VADA? Why do you even use USAID, any of these agencies, if you're not going to uphold the rules, right? You're going to tell them what the rules is. And so then he goes in and say, well, now we know that Oscar Valdez is saying that it was herbal tea that he drank. And he says, even if that was the case, this is something I've been saying. He says, even if that was the case, then why would you drink the tea, knowingly drink the tea, if you know it has a banned substance in the tea? So it doesn't matter. Another thing that I said, I've been saying this, you could go back and look. I've said this before Teddy Atlas said it. I said, it doesn't matter what it was in. The fact is, you have a banned substance in your system. And so now the WBC says that it's equivalent. It's okay to take phetamine because it's equivalent to drinking 3 Red Bulls. Well, who would drink 3 Red Bulls? And Red Bull has a motto. And their slogan is, they stand by it, their product that is going to help you. It's going to enhance you. It's going to enhance your performance. It's going to give you wings. It's Red Bull's slogan. Drink Red Bull and it'll give you wings. No human being can fly. So they're saying that it's going to give you a pick-me-up. It's going to enhance your performance. If you're feeling down, if you're feeling non-energetic, it's going to lift you up. And so the WBC and Mauricio Suleiman are saying, well, it only should be banned until the day of performance. But what it acts is to help you lose weight. So if you're in a boxing match, why would you use it the day of the event when you already lost and made the weight? So Teddy Atlas, he says that the WBC stands for We Be Collecting Money. And if you connected to Team Canelo Alvarez, then you're going to get a pass because they bringing in big money for the Mexican fan base and the Mexican sanction body. So he says that all of these sanction bodies should be done away with because they're only doing is hurting the sport of boxing. They're not helping it. Okay? And he says that why are we not paying attention, and why is Eddie Reynoso and his camp and his team not being investigated? Because now we know Oscar Valdez, who's claiming that he never even drank the tea now. So his team immediately came out and said that he drank tea, herbal tea, which had the banned substance in it. So they knew, and they pointed to the cause, right? But that raised the eyebrow and the question, well, if you knew that this had a banned substance and you can immediately point to it, then you knew you shouldn't have drank it. So now they're switching the story because they didn't expect that to be the comeback. So now they're switching the story and saying, well, he don't even know if he drank the tea. He's not sure he even drank the tea. So now he's not sure where it came from. See, when you cited an exact source from where it came from, then we know that you knew you shouldn't have had it. But now he's saying he don't know where it came from. That's more like it. So now you can't identify what took place. So you see, Teddy Atlas, he's not a happy camper about this. And he says this is all due, in fact, largely in part to the fact that this is Team Canelo Alvarez, and he's going to get away with it. Let's listen to what he had to say.
I'm connected with the Canelo team and not giving you a lot of money and sanctioning fees. Then maybe then it changes. Maybe then you stick to the rule. Eddie Reynoso, and I didn't come here to. I came here to put.
So you see what he said. He says that if you're connected to Team Canelo, right, you're going to get a pass. That's what he said. So let's just listen to what he had to say, right? He lets it be known. He says, let's just cut through the chase. Let's get to the nitty gritty. This has everything to do with who's doing it, who got caught. Listen.
Depends on who's caught doing it. I mean, let's get to the nitty gritty. I mean, is it because of who's doing it? If it's someone less important who's not connected with the Canelo team and not giving you a lot of money and sanctioning fees, then maybe then it changes. Maybe then you stick to the rule.
So you hear he says, then if it's not connected to Canelo Alvarez and his team, then maybe people will stick to the rules and stand on their square. But because Canelo Alvarez and his team is bringing in tons of money, then you don't stick to the rules, okay? So with that said, he goes in, right? Now he's going to get to the part of he's going to let you know that Eddie Reynoso should simply be investigated because he's now had 3 fighters on the record. And then Teddy Atlas, he states, and we hear that it's even more fighters that's just not on the record. So let's listen to what he had to say regarding Eddie Reynoso and his camp.
Eddie Reynoso, and I didn't come here to, I came here to put facts out, that's all. Eddie Reynoso, I mean, he does a good job as a trainer, yeah. But he's had now how many fighters, Ken, in his camp? I mean, I want to be responsible. I mean, I know 3 of them. You got Canelo.
So you see, Ken says countless of numbers. So he's trying to be respectful, as Teddy Atlas said. He's trying to be respectful, but there's 3 we know on the record that can't be denied. But Kenny says there's countless of numbers, and he says Teddy Atlas says there's a number of guys that's not on the record. Okay, but he don't want to get into that because he only want to speak about the facts, the ones he could prove.
You got Valdez, and then you go back, and you got Martinez, I think it was Julio Cesar Martinez, who was a WBC flyweight champion back in 2019, came out of his camp too. And maybe there's others, but all right.
So you see, he says, and maybe there's others, but he don't want to allude to those because they're not on the record, right? So he only wants to deal with the facts, the ones that are on the record, the ones that we can for sure speak of, okay? And he says, and I said Julio Cesar Martinez, I said Robinson. So Julio Cesar Martinez, Oscar Valdez, and Canelo Alvarez, right? No doubt. Canelo Alvarez and Julio Cesar Martinez, they both tested for clenbuterol. Thus the reason why the WBC and Mauricio Suleiman raised the amount of levels of clenbuterol you can have in your system, and they cited that it was the meat, the tacos, and the steak that they had over in Mexico for the reasoning. But the problem is, if you know the meat is tainted in Mexico, why are you eating it as a professional athlete? It's irresponsible. Listen.
So, I want to touch on their excuse, how they get around this. So the WBC is getting around this by saying they only ban the drug. Listen to this, Ken. In competition. And the in-competition period only begins on fight day itself. Wow. All right, only on fight day. So you can use a banned substance to help you get ready for the fight as long as you don't use it the day of the fight. Wow, that makes a lot of sense. So let's just say that it gives you an advantage in making weight. That's okay. And why would you? I mean, so it helps you make weight, which is not legal. So you have an advantage, something helping you make weight, where you don't have to struggle like the other guy might have to.
So he's saying that the amphetamine is going to help you lose weight. It's going to help you make weight. But we know the WBC and President Mauricio Suleiman, they took the belt from two-time super middleweight world champion, Mexican superstar boxer, David Benavidez, for a drug that he used outside of the sport of boxing, not in competition, just like amphetamine, but they stripped him of the title. And then they stripped David Benavidez on the scale because he missed weight. Well, Oscar Valdez is using something to help him make weight to ensure he don't miss weight. So essentially the punishment should be the same, but it's not going to be the same, right? Because David Benavidez doesn't seem to be their darling. Point blank and period, okay? So Teddy Atlas, he absolutely goes in. You could go see this on the Teddy Atlas's podcast. You can see the full interview there. This is, the WBC should be ashamed of itself. It's called The Fight with Teddy Atlas. You could go check it out there. The WBC should be ashamed of themselves. The sport of boxing should be ashamed of themselves. And Robson CONCEICAO, hopefully he gets the victory. He's Olympic gold medalist. You know, it's unfortunate in his situation. His big moment and his opportunity as a professional is coming with a cloud that's overshadowing him and his background and his performance, okay? Because the whole sole focus now is going to be on Oscar Valdez, and Oscar Valdez tested positive. You have the panel. I don't know how this ESPN panel is going to be because Timothy Bradley, Andre Ward, Joe Testor, these guys are all against Oscar Valdez being allowed to fight and keeping his title. So I don't know how that's going to go over well. But the situation surrounding Oscar Valdez is going to overshadow Robson CONCEICAO, and hopefully he gets the victory. And you know, David would have defeated Goliath. Okay, but if Oscar Valdez wins this fight, I can't even imagine what the response is going to be. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.
Hi, my name is Heather the Heat Hardy, and you're watching Blue Blood Sports TV.